Hey guys, Eric at SideQuest Comics, and welcome into another video. This video is actually part 2 of my weekend at FanExpo Chicago 2024, and this one we're going to cover my time spent in Artist Alley around the comic creators and stuff like that. And so jumping into it, basically what I did this year, and I think I started this last year, was I started a list. So I have a notebook I wrote down all the creators, that were going to be there. And I kind of put them in order of, kind of what I desired to see them. And, I ended up getting a big old stack. So I did actually miss some of the creators because whether they canceled or I think by the end it's like kind of had to kind of call it. I can't get everybody type of thing. And I was super excited for a couple of them. And one of the ones that canceled was the crew at Ghost Machine, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, and Ivan Rice were supposed to be there. They canceled, I think, the week of, like beginning of the week type of thing. So FanExpo actually, luckily they scrambled a little bit and got some replacement guests just so it wasn't so slim pickings. But yeah, I did not ever find out if it was, I heard rumors like there was a conflict in schedule or some projects, or I think they were at a con just like a week or two before that, and there was a sickness running through the crew. So I don't know exactly what it was, and I didn't really look into it. I was disappointed because, yeah, I had some books that I wanted to get signed by them for some of the new stuff, Geiger that they did, and I had some old stuff that Jeff Johns from his Green Lantern days and Aquaman days and stuff like that. But you know what? It happens. Maybe the next con I'll see them at, and I'll get those books that I did put aside. I'll remember them because I made a list. But I did enjoy my time with the creators that were there. I basically spent the Friday, Saturday seeing these people. And without getting into too much detail, because I'm going to show the books off that I got and pop up some pictures and stuff while I'm showing the books of the different artists. But the first day, it was a shorter day, and I did miss out. One of the other big one I wanted to see was Andy Kubert. So I did miss out him on the first day. I kind of actually just missed him type of thing. He had a lot of meet and greet type of stuff or lectures he was doing that first day. So I just, being a shorter day, I figured since I missed them, I'll try and hit some of these other ones on my list and, knock them out type of thing. So I was able to do that. And then the second day I hit it hardcore and got all the rest on my list. So there was a couple, I think I was going to go back on the last day, Sunday, but I just didn't do it. It didn't happen. So what I want to do real quick, I'll go over the books that I got. I want to try and keep this one shorter than the last one, which was probably to date my longest video, guys. I hope you guys like the way I did the format. But yeah, I saw a bunch of different artists like Jim Zub, Patrick Gleason. Who else did I see? Kubert, Dan Slott, some old artists from back in the day, Tom Grummett, and so on and so on. And like I said, I will mention those. I don't want to go into them great detail, but I do have a big stack of books that I got signed by these different creators. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down, and while I spend some time talking about them, I'll put up the if I had video, I think I have some video, but I'll pop up some pictures and stuff of me meeting these creators. So let's go ahead and go down. All right, guys, we're going to jump right into FanExpo 2024 Artist Alley, comic celebrities that I saw the weekend, and we're going to jump right into the first day. Now, the first day, one of the other big comic creators that I want to see besides the Ghost Machine guys was Jim Zub. Now, Jim Zub is the writer for the current Conan the Barbarian series that is put out by Titan. And this is #1 from 2023. Very cool book. And I know Jim has worked with Conan before when it was in Marvel and when I think Dynamite had it. But yeah, he wrote me a little personal message, which is pretty cool. Crom's blood burns bright. So yeah, I had a little bit of decision. I didn't know if I wanted to get the free comic book day one also signed, but I ended up just going with #1. I think it looks cool against that yellow. And then I also got this one from him that he had at his booth. He was selling it. It was a San Diego Comic-Con, I guess, exclusive cover for #13. Kind of a cool Virgin cover. No trade dress on there. And yeah, it's a comicsketchart.com exclusive. So I don't know if this was a limited number. I tried finding it, looking it up. I could not actually find it anywhere. And then the other one I got, this was one that he did for a while ago. He did have some experience with Red Sonja. And this one was cool. I don't know if my camera's really showing it off well how red this is, but he signed it in a red pen, which is cool. She-Devil with a sword. Very cool. This one I found in a bargain bin, which I was surprised being a Virgin variant. And I love this artwork. This is #1 variant. It came out 2022. This was actually from Unbreakable Red Sonja. And this cover is actually Roberto Della Torre, which I know has worked with Jim Zub and some of the other Conan projects and stuff. So very cool to have him sign this one. And then last up by Jim Zub was this big boy. I might have to go back a little bit for this one. Now, this one is a Virgin cover for Savage Sword of Conan that's also put out by Titan. And it's that magazine format. So it's, it's a real big one. But this was a variant cover by Joe Jusku, which is pretty cool that I thought eventually, maybe if I ever run into him at a show, I can have him sign up here too. I think that would be a cool addition to this. Very cool. I like that he put it, the Savage Sword is still sharp. That's kind of funny. But yeah, that's what I got from Jim Zub. I could have got some more. He's a very cool guy. But I will bring him up soon after in another book. Okay, the next artist I went and saw on the first day was Patrick Gleason. He's an artist that I've grown to take notice of his stuff the last year or so. I missed out on some of this stuff he did with Amazing Spider-Man. So this one is actually a second print of Amazing Spider-Man Volume 5, number 55. And I think they call this his Webhead variant. This one came out 2021. So it's very cool to, very nice gold marker signature there. I'll put some pictures up here of him and some of the other artists. But then I also got signed by Patrick this one is #1 from the current series, Amazing Spider-Man Volume 6. This is 2022, and this is his Goblin Queen variant. I think you can see it. This one gets a little bit more lost in there. I don't know what a better color would have been. Maybe a silver maybe, but it's still kind of cool. I like this cover. Very different. I know he did a bunch for this series of like Green Goblin and so on and so on when they made so many variants for #1. So very cool. And then lastly, I got this one signed by Patrick. It's also another second printing because I missed out on the first printing of this, but it's a cool cover. And see, this one pops with the black cover, but it's Avengers Curse of the Man-Thing. 2021 is when this one came out. And yeah, like I said, it's a second print. I missed out, so I'm happy with this one. I think I found this in like a dollar bin. So, hey, I didn't lose out too much, right? Very cool. I know he was affordable too, so I was happy to get these ones from Patrick. Last up on that first day, I went and saw E.M. Geist, artist that does a lot of covers. This was one of his covers he did. for Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu #0. I almost did not think I was going to get this issue. My store ended up getting them a little bit late. But yeah, this just came out this past year. It's kind of a cool issue. If you guys haven't picked it up, pick it up. It kind of gives you, it brings you up to speed on the Moon Knight, where he is in the world. And then I also got this one signed by him. It's a Conan the Barbarian Titan again. This is #9. It's a variant cover he did from this year for Titan. And I did meant to go back. I tried Saturday and I tried Sunday to go back and get Jim Zub to sign this. He's a writer on the series at this point still. I think he's still writing the whole series. But I kept missing him. So I don't know, maybe hopefully at another con I'll run into Jim Zub and I can get him to sign this so I can have a double signature. But very cool cover for Conan. So I got a lot of Conan signed, I guess, at FanExpo this year. But that was it for the first day. So let's go take a look at what I got on the second day. Okay, day 2 was the big day for me, and I started off with Maria Wolf here. I actually just missed the big one, Kubert, for me again, so I figured I'd knock out the rest of my list, and she was first on my list, and I got this one, Doom, Volume 2, #1. It's a 1 in 25 variant that came out just this year. I kind of went goofy on these Doom ones and got every single one that the store got. But you can see her signature right there. Very nice. I was trying to find, I thought I had a Storm variant cover she did, and she had some really cool prints there of like Ghost Rider and stuff. You can see in the picture I'm going to pop up here. And I know my buddy got a Savage Sword of Conan cover that she did. But the cool thing about this is Maria, she didn't charge anything for any of her signature. Very cool. I mean, if you bought a print, yeah, she's going to charge you, I think it was like $10, maybe $20 for a print because they were oversized. But for just a plain old signature, she wasn't charging anything. So it was very cool to meet her and talk to her a little bit. And then after Maria, I hit up Dan Slott, who, if you know, Dan Slott is a writer for Spider-Man. Now, I got him to sign Spider-Man Volume 4. This was part of their end of the Spider-Verse, something like that, I think is what it was titled. End of the Spider-Verse. That's what it was. And this was #1. It's a variant cover by Humberto Ramirez. And I don't know if you can see where Dan... Oh, he actually shows up pretty good as I look up on my computer screen. He signed right there because, of course... Ramirez, very busy cover. So eventually, maybe, I hope I'll see him at a show. I can get him to sign this cover too. I thought it was a cool cover as opposed to just the basic #1. I mean, it's got all the different spider people in it. So very cool one. And then Dan Slott also signed this one for me. And this one is actually, it's a second printing of #7 from the same volume of Spider-Man. And this is #7. It's actually the first cameo appearance of Spider-Boy. And I chose this one, the second printing, mainly because he's on the cover. The regular cover is just Spider-Man getting hit by lightning or electricity or something from Electro. And I thought this one was a neater cover because Spider-Boy's on the cover. So I went ahead and had Dan Slott sign this one. Very cool cover. I was debating about having him sign Spider-Boy #1. I have the, was it the negative space cover where it's like the blue fades into the black background. But I ended up going with this one. Very cool cover to get signed. Then next up, like I said, this was my busy day. One of the legendary artists that I like was there, Tom Grummett. He did art in the like mid 80s to, through the 90s and stuff. But this was a special edition one he did. This was Crisis on Infinite Earths, #7, G. And G because it was actually done in 2023 of the 85 series. It's actually still #7 of the issue where Supergirl dies. That's why she's on the cover. But yeah, he did this special cover. I think it was limited to 500, but I think you can see it there. It's a foil cover. So I had to walk around for a while and wave this around, blow on it to get it to dry before I felt like it was safe to even touch it. And then Tom he wasn't charging anything either, which I was kind of shocked. And I kind of went goofy, and he could have made a lot of money with me. But I ended up getting this one. I've had this forever. I got it off the shelves. This is Adventures of Superman 501. This was like right when they were doing Death of Superman, and all these different Reign of Superman started popping up. And this one is actually the first full appearance of Superboy. I always liked this cover. I thought it was kind of cool. He's giving you that attitude. This came out in 1993. And then next up was this one I found in a dollar bin. And I talked to him about this because he's credited, but he didn't do the full interiors. They actually reused some panels he did from previous issues, kind of like a flashback. And so technically his art's still in there. So he signed it for me. And I love this cover. This is 685, came out in 92. And it's Supergirl in Action Comics instead of Superman. And this is paying homage to Superman #1, of course, where he's, holding up the big truck and stuff. Very cool. I just something about this cover I like. And then very cool cover of Green Lantern Volume 3, 94. I thought this was kind of cool. Once again, we got Superboy's jacket, leather jacket in the background, and then Kyle Rayner's mask, Green Lantern, and it just pops there, his signature, which I thought was cool. This came out in 97, so this was a little bit later. And then Aquaman, I can't resist it. Aquaman, right? Aquaman #3, Aquaman versus Superboy. This came out in 94. I guess they're battling. I don't know why he's shooting lasers. I remember seeing this in the past, and I was like, what, they got Cyclops fighting Aquaman? But yeah, it wasn't. It was Superboy doing something, doing his heat vision, I guess is what you want to say. So that was what I got from Tom Grummett. So let's move on to another legendary artist. So this was all from another legendary artist. I actually don't have the original, but I have this facsimile foil that Mike DiCarlo did. So he is an inker, a legendary inker from the early 80s and on. And he inked the first appearance of Lobo, which was in Omega Men #3. And this facsimile actually came out last year, 2023. This one really gave me problem, guys. If you get a foil signed, man, be careful with the signature. This thing took hours to dry. I think it's because it was so humid. I put it in the plastic bag to get it home. I ended up, I don't know how many times touching this, and it smudged here and there. I mean, it looks okay, I guess, now, but you can kind of see it got a little goofed up. I don't think I would do a foil one again. The one that I got by Tom Grummett, I'm surprised turned out so well. Maybe it was the pen. I don't know. Maybe it was too, put down too much paint, but it still works. Pretty cool cover. And then I had him also sign this one. It was one of those random ones. I didn't have a whole lot from Mike DiCarlo. So I had this one, 161 of Green Lantern. It's the old version with Hal Jordan. And this one came out. When did this one come out? Back in 82. So this one was a little bit older, from volume 2. I just like this cover. It's kind of a cool cover, and he signed it right here, which is pretty cool. And then last up, this was the big book for me for Mike DiCarlo. I got this book a while back from my buddy Cheddar. And the reason I bought it is because it was signed by Jim Starlin. Now, at the show, I got Mike DiCarlo to sign it too. And he signed it also in the inside, and he dated it so we know when he signed it. Now, the only one I'm missing, of course, is Dave Cochran. And maybe, hopefully, someday I will find McFarlane to get him to sign. On the cover, probably not. I'll probably have him sign on the inside next to the other guys just to keep it in theme. And I don't think I would ever probably grade this, because then you wouldn't be able to see that. So that was the last one I got by Mike DiCarlo. It was very cool that I just recently got that one too. So let's move on to some of the last few that I got on Saturday. All right, so this one I got by Jeremy Adams, a writer. Signed right there. This is the newest Green Lantern series that started up last year from volume 8. And Jeremy was a very cool guy to sit there and talk to. I noticed him talking to a lot of people coming up to his booth. So that was very cool. I mean, he was really curious about my channel, asking me questions and stuff like that. And he's the type of guy that if you're a content creator, if you guys are watching this that do that stuff, he is very supportive of us doing this stuff. So very cool to get his signature. I wish I had more books that he did, but I just didn't have any and I couldn't find any at the time. And then last up was one of the big ones that I want to do was Andy Kubert. So I got this one, like I think literally the day before. I found it in the bins at my store that he did of Superman Volume 6, number 1 from 2023 is a black and white variant, which definitely pops up when you put it on a black silver on the black like that. And then I got this one. It was a tough one because I had some of the variant covers too, but I just went with the A cover by Andy. He actually just did the interior works on this one, but this one came out in 1992. I thought what was be cool is that his brother Adam did the inks on this. So if I ever come across Adam at a show, I can also have him sign this one, so I can get both brothers' signatures on the same book. And then this one, which was my mission to find Saturday morning. I couldn't find it Friday, but I wanted to have this set to get him to sign it. I had the trade, but I wanted number 1 of this book to have Andy sign it. This is number 1 of Origins from 2001. And of course, it is the origin of Logan. So very cool 6-issue miniseries. And they did do a part 2. So very happy to find this at the show, or literally the day that I went and got him signed. And then getting to these books, you can't get signatures by Kubert without an X-Men. He was very well known for his work that he did on the X-Men Volume 1 in the 90s. And this one's a very iconic cover of Rogue and Gambit from 93. And this is number 24. And then lastly, the big book. And I kicked myself for not getting this signed last year by Chris Claremont. I'm going to take it out of the bag so you guys can see it real good. This is Uncanny X-Men number 266. This is a big book for me. I actually bought this off the rack, so not a huge investment in it. That's probably why I had a hard time getting it signed, because to replace it to where you just have a straight raw, it's going to cost you. But Andy signed this one for me as the first full Gambit. And what was cool, if you saw in this last book, he had a pink marker pen, which was very cool. So he signed the last one in pink there in Rogue's hair, and then this one he signed it there, so it would match Gambit's costume a little bit. Very cool. Now I have to go back and get this one signed by Claremont. He likes signing right there on the trades to complete this one. And who knows, maybe this was the thing that breaks the seal for me, where I just get a bunch of these big books that I have signed by the creators. So that's what I got for the comic signatures at FanExpo. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Well, there you go, guys. There is my big old stack of books that I got signed by different comic creators, modern, legendary. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the books I got signed. Pretty big stack. I did pretty good, I think, this year. And it was pretty cool that a lot of these artists didn't charge anything, or really next to it. A lot of them were free, which was kind of cool. So definitely cool experience. And I was glad I actually made a list that if they cancel, I could cross it off. And, my short box that I started, that I could pull them. And when they added some new artists, I went and got the books and put them in there. And I just took that whole short box. Once again, if you guys missed it, the day of that Friday, I did do a live stream that you guys can go back and check it out if you guys didn't see it. And you can see me kind of getting ready for the Artist Alley. I appreciate that if you go back and watch that. And if you're new to the channel and you like this kind of content, please consider giving me a subscription, a like for this video and any of the other ones that you watch. And please comment what you think of the pickups. I mean, were these cool books that you would have got signed? I'd like to hear from you guys what you guys have to say about these books. And while you're at it, head over to Instagram. I have an Instagram account where I am posting all kinds of stuff, whether it's my quest that I find, or it's Mutant Mondays or Friday First, stuff like that. So I do a lot of posts on there. for the community that you guys could check out and enjoy. But that is all I got, you guys, for this second video of my Fan Expo Chicago 2024. So I got one more plan that I'm going to come back and do with you guys. That was some dollar dives that I did at the convention. So until next time, guys, while you're out there getting your book signed, happy quested, and we'll talk to you next time.